computers and barking into your phones all day long. But Teddy, you're barking and you're cheering. Let's all give it up for Teddy Weisberg, who celebrates his 50 years as a trader. Yay, Teddy! Mazel tov.
Yeah.
Okay, back to work.
Thank you.
Enough of this tomfoolery. Back to work. Tell us what we're supposed to do here. It's a nice day, but this is a headline-driven market.
Well, on again, off again. You know, the event du jour is the daily twists and turns of where we are with the tariffs. It sort of reminds me of the peace talks during the Vietnam War. I mean, it went on forever. One day they're on, one day they're off. And clearly the market is completely obsessed with the tariff issue, and perhaps well it should be. And one can only wonder at what point the market will price all this in, but we're not quite there yet.
Not quite there yet.
So we got good news today. We're up. Yesterday was a good day. Today's particularly interesting because we started the day in the hole about 150 points, and here we are up 150 points. Now where will we be at the close remains to be seen, but I would say technically that's a pretty positive day.
Yeah, I would think so too. Alan Nuckman, the NASDAQ is on track for its third move to the upside in a row. So as we look at the technology names, it's pretty interesting to see that most of them, even though we've got some bad news we're going to talk about later about a monster bug hitting Microsoft and some of these other names, it's green on the screen for the tech titans. What's going on in the psychology, and would you be a buyer here?
Well, I do really like the stock psychology, and to get back to what Teddy was saying, at some point, Mr. Trump can claim victory, and we don't know exactly what the score, what his demands were, but he can declare victory, and this market can really rebound. I like this action. We went down to 2,800 in the S&P, bounced off it. Let's remember that was the top of the range that we traded in for almost all of last year, and so markets come back to their breakouts. You also saw what I call bullish divergence. We made new highs in volatility on Thursday, but even though the market made new lows on Friday and then lower lows on Monday, the VIX did not pop up above that peak. So that's very, very positive. I like what we see, and we're only down 3% after all this in the S&P as it stands right now. So things I've set up for another positive rebound, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know, I'm just looking at my charts, Luke, and I see China stocks, Alibaba, Baidu, JD, you name it, they are all up except for, let's see, NTES, NetEase. But I look at that, I think that's pretty interesting. So as we broaden this picture of what is happening in the markets, there is some real tension in the Middle East right now. Major concerns that the United States are now pulling out non-essential workers from Iraq. Tell us how that's really affecting the overall picture, and oil too, energy.
Well, Liz, I think that's probably the most important news in the world right now. If you believe some of the chatter going on, and there might be some conflict with Iran, I mean, you know, that's unspeakable. There's going to be some major volatility in the markets, and you're going to see the market go down several thousand points, and oil stocks aren't going to save you. They won't go down as much, but they're still not going to save you. I think that's really the important story. And as far as the market action, okay, the market is up today, but you can see for the last 6 months we've been talking, and I'm not patting myself on the back. I'll have you do that later. But there is not going to be a trade deal tomorrow or the day after. The Chinese are going to hold out as long as they can, right? And you don't just have to get the Chinese on board. You got to get the Mexicans and the Canadians and the Europeans on board, because you can reroute stuff. You can use move manufacturing, whatever. So this story is going to go on for a while. People should hold on for some volatility. And if there's action in the Middle East, you better watch out.
Yeah. Agreed. This is a very serious development. We are following all of it. Great to see you, Luke Allen, and Teddy, congratulations on 50 years as a superstar trader. He can't even speak. He's so overwhelmed. We've got this breaking news. Let's look at shares of European automakers.